Hey y'all, welcome back. So today's video is actually a very special bonus video that we are doing. This is actually a collaboration with two people who are fellow doll YouTubers here. So we have Enzo from The Junk Drawer and then Chad Marvelous from Chad Marvelous. I will have their channels linked in the description down below. So we basically did like almost like a podcasty sort of thing. We all had like our cameras on and we were just chit-chatting about different aspects of doll collecting. And so each of us has a video to put out. We have the like intro of how each of us got started in doll collecting, and then we have how our collections have evolved. And then my video that you are currently watching is, do we ever think our collections will end? I really picked the tough question here. So this is part 3. You can watch any of these in any order. Like we kind of separated them out so that they would be manageable to watch in any order. But if you want to watch them in order, I will have Enzo and Chad's videos in the description, parts 1 and 2, so you can check those out. And even if you don't watch these in order, definitely check those out after you watch this one. It was so fun chatting with them and just talking about dolls with them. And I really think that you guys will enjoy the conversations that we had. But yeah, that is the video for today. If you guys do find yourself enjoying, if you could give it a like, super helpful to me. If you're new here and you enjoy your time, definitely subscribe so you can see more. If you want to see more collabs, let me know in the comments, because like I had tons of fun talking with these guys, so I'm happy to do it again. I hope that you guys are happy to keep watching them. But without further ado, let's roll the clip here.
Let's talk about how it's going to end. At some point, maybe, I don't know, maybe not. We will probably stop collecting dolls. And I don't know. I think for me, I will probably continue collecting as long as I'm interested in what is out there, whether it's new stuff or old stuff. I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of like the vintage stuff, and obviously that stuff is around and it's going to be around forever. So, but as far as like buying new releases, yeah, as long as there's like good stuff coming out, I'll definitely be contributing to this capitalistic world that we live in. So, yeah. What about y'all?
I think for me, I already did technically stop for a while. When Gen 1 ended and Gen 2 ended, I just didn't collect really anything until Rainbow High came out, and those sucked me back in. So I feel like I can't say that I would never stop, because like I already have. But I think it would definitely be kind of in and out if I ever were to stop, like you said, as things become more or less interesting. But also, in the last part, I have to talk about how community is such a big deal in the space, and like how it makes you so much more interested in collecting itself. I do think it would be a lot harder to ever quit completely now that I'm invested in the community. Because as a teenager, I like watched a couple of videos, but I didn't post anywhere. And now it's like, I know people, I talk to people, I interact with people, and I feel like it'd be so much harder to completely give it up. So I don't think it would ever be full stop. It might just kind of ebb and flow.
You're in it. You're in it for life.
I'm sucked in.
Dolls, they're like the mafia. Once you're in, you're in.
Very true. Very true.
I think I'm kind of the same way, though. I don't see myself ever like, I don't know. I think my collecting, I don't think it'll stop. I think it'll evolve, because it just depends on what I'm feeling like. It depends on what my financial situation is. There's a lot of factors that kind of change it. Because like I said, I hyperfixate on things. Like recently, I haven't been buying as many new dolls. Like that Ariel doll I showed you earlier is the first new doll that I've gotten, other than like the collector, you know, the 2 collector ones I bought. I haven't bought like any Playline dolls for a while and stuff like that, because I've been like, well, it has to do with the weather as well. During this time of year, I get really hyperfixated on playing games. So like I love tabletop games and like D&D and a few other things. And like right now, that's kind of like what I've been hyperfixating on. But like I said, that just kind of, that's how it happens. You know, I kind of will get like really into something, and then, you know, if something else catches my attention, then that might slow down a little bit. So like, and that happens with my collecting, because like recently I've been really into the vintage stuff, the vintage ponies, vintage Barbies, stuff like that, as opposed to, you know, I haven't been getting as excited about the newer releases, not because I don't like them, but just because like that's where my mind is at. I can see myself Well, I already plan to pare down my collection. I've already started separating stuff, and I actually do want to get rid of a lot of dolls that I have, and I want to go through them again and really, because I don't have enough space. I have too many dolls and not enough space, which I think is a very relatable problem to have in the doll collecting community. But I don't think I've ever gotten rid of anything. I think there's since I started collecting, there's been small handfuls of like Barbie fashionistas and stuff like that I've kind of let go over the years, like giving them to my nieces or like donating them. But for the most part, any doll that I've gotten or shown on my YouTube channel, I still have. And that's a lot. Like, I mean, it looks like a lot behind me, but there's a lot more in tubs and storage. So I'm just like getting to that point where I'm overwhelmed and I want to purge. Like, I want to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So I'm probably going to see about, selling some stuff or whatever. And I want to try and slow down on buying as many, which is part of the reason why I've been focusing on the collector dolls and vintage dolls, because they're harder to find. But yeah, I don't know. It comes and goes. We'll see how I feel this time next year, or you know what I mean? Or like in 4 months or whatever, my attitude towards it might change again,
If you guys had to like cut a brand out from your collection, what brand would be on the chopping block?
Brand as in like the specific doll line, or brand as in the manufacturer? Like
Rainbow High or Monster High or like OMG.
I would say, I mean, I don't really collect OMG, so that's an easy like nix. But as far as like that's like a very small handful. I would say probably Rainbow High, I guess. I'm not gonna say Barbie. There's too many Barbies. Like I can't be like, I'm never buying a Barbie. I would say Rainbow High. Rainbow High over Shadow High. If I can keep the sub brands.
That's interesting, considering that Nicole Steele started you off, but you'd cut out Rainbow.
Yeah. Wow. I'm not loyal.
Brand loyal, yeah. I think for me, because I actually thought about this, and it's one of those where it's like, I almost want to make a dedicated video because I feel like I could talk about this for a while too. But I've already cut out OMG in the sense of I'm not actively collecting them. And even as new ones come out, there are very, very few that I see that speak to me. There's like maybe one here or one there. Like I think there's only one that's currently on shelves that I do want, that I don't already have. But I had a handful of them, and I was saying earlier that I've already separated several dolls, and a lot of the OMGs are that. I only have two over there. You can kind of see them back there. There's one right there and then one right there. And and then there's like the Madonna one that's down there hidden somewhere. But that one I've already kind of like cut out and stopped collecting just because I realized they weren't sparking joy. If I had to choose another one, it'd probably be Rainbow High, but that's only because of their scale. Because their bodies are like Barbie proportion, but shorter and really large heads. And that's not really my style. I think they're beautiful. I like them. But if I had to choose one, it'd probably be that. Just for that reason, because they have really, really good quality and they are really pretty. And it'd be hard to make that decision though. But yeah, that'd probably be my answer.
Asking the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah.
Get a shaft.
OMG too. Like, if I had to lose something, it would suck. Like, I wouldn't want to. I love my OMGs, but like, if I had to do it, it'd be them.
What does that say about OMG? Like, why do you think OMG is like so disposable?
I think it's because we are adult doll collectors, and I think they are, out of the brands that we collect, they are very much aimed at a younger audience. For me, I think that's the reason for me, because they have a very interesting face. I'll put it that way, with their ping pong ball eyes and like whatever. And there's not really anything wrong with it, but they started off as the little tots, like they're little baby dolls, and then they turned them into bigger dolls that have the exact same face, so it looks weird in a way, And I think that's my reasoning. Is like, they're still a good doll line, but I think that they're aimed at a younger audience compared to maybe some of like Monster High or Rainbow High even.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. I think, like you said, the faces are definitely not for everybody. Like, I think that's the number one reason more people don't collect OMG is because of the faces. And so I don't know that I would miss like the base dolls. I would miss the fashion that they come with, and like some of them have really amazing hair. But the base doll is definitely my least favorite, so I think that might be easier to get rid of.
Poor OMG, poor Rainbow High.
Yeah.
All the big, all the dolls, you know, it's like not like the slimmer dolls.
Yeah, well, because I look at my whole collection and it's like the things that I'm actively collecting is Monster High, Barbie, and Disney. Like those are the things that I'm actively collecting. And then Rainbow High and OMG I only get the ones that I like here and there. Because I'm just not and I realize it's like if you look at the scale, I really like the cartoony scale, but I like them to be taller and like I don't know, both OMG and Rainbow High kind of have a shorter stature with it, like, you know, wider looking, like it's not that I don't want curvy dolls. It's the scale that they're at is not exactly what I normally collect compared to everything else that I am collecting.
I want Rainbow High and OMG fashions for Barbie. That's what I want. I want like a mashup.
I agree.
Yeah. I want like a OMG level detail for Monster High dolls.
Yeah. Also, I think, you know what it is, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that it is the size of the heads. Because I started thinking it's like, oh, poor MGA is what it is for me, but it's not, because MGA has great quality, and I love Bratz. Like when Bratz came out, the only reason I didn't get them or like them right away or wasn't into them is because their feet popped off, and I didn't like that. But now I'm over it, and I collect Bratz. We've been talking about all these doll brands. I completely forgot about Bratz this whole time. But even Bratz is like, their heads are smaller than the OMG dolls, and like OMG and Rainbow High have these larger heads, so I think that might be what it is for me, is the bigger the doll head is, the more awkward it is or whatever, I don't know.
You like the slightly more realistic proportions for the head.
Yes, yeah, even though Monster High G1 is the furthest thing from from realistic, but no, exactly, like the head to body ratio, because I think Rainbow High kind of look like toddlers almost at the scale that they're at. If you guys were to whittle it down and keep it to only one doll line, and you weren't going to collect any other doll line, like I already said My Little Pony, but I do have a real answer to this question. But like for you two, like if you were to only collect one line going forward, which one do you think it would be?
You can go ahead. I'm pointing the wrong way. There we go.
I would say, I guess Monster High. I don't know. I think it's either Monster High or Barbie, but I prefer G1 Monster High versus G3. But I mean, Barbie is like Barbie's like forever. Barbie's never going to go away. They're always going to be here.
Vintage doesn't count if we're just talking about like new brands, like new releases going forward.
I guess Monster High if I have to choose. So
I thought you were a strong Barbie. Like I thought it was going to be no hesitation Barbie. So that's so interesting to hear.
Yeah,
but I would pick Monster High for sure. Like unquestionably, they started it. I'm still very deep into it. I love G3, and like I can't imagine not collecting them specifically.
Yeah. For me, I think Monster High would be one of the last ones to go, but it's actually not my like the one that I would limit it down to. I'd have to go with Disney, but that's just because I'm a huge Disney nerd and I genuinely like the Disney dolls, but I also prefer like we were saying, like the more realistic proportions, the more human proportions, less cartoony in that respect. So I really like the Disney dolls, and I would, if I had to limit it down to only one. Plus, they release new ones so infrequently that it'd be much easier to keep up with than some of the other releases that come out super fast. But I don't know. I'm a Disney kid at heart. So I think that would probably be, but otherwise it'd be Monster High collector dolls, because so far the collector dolls have all been the G1 style. And I do prefer G1 over G3. Oh, I don't like this question. Now it's really hard because now I'm like, but I also want to keep this one.
You did this.
I did. It's my I have nobody else to blame but myself.
No.
Yeah.
You're looking so intently. I'm like, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm looking at my Monster High dolls, and I'm like, are they? I think yeah, they definitely are.
Your other dolls that aren't Monster High are judging you because of what you said earlier. They're all right now. They're looking at you from behind you. I'm kidding.
Yeah, they're gonna get me tonight for sure.
Right.
Yeah, they're totally gonna come alive and haunt my dreams.
That's so funny. So I know a couple people, and I know this is kind of off topic, but there's been a couple people in my life who actually have a fear of dolls. Like they find them creepy or whatever, and I get it because I don't like dolls that have like. To me, creepy dolls are like baby dolls that look too realistic or porcelain dolls that have glass inset eyes, which is why it took me a second to get on board with Rainbow High because of the inset eyes. But like, do either of you know anybody who's like has a fear of dolls or anything like that?
I don't like baby dolls either. Yeah, they're creepy. Also, the reborn dolls creep me out. Also,
don't even get me started on the reborn dolls. I wasn't even thinking about those. Those legitimately scare me. They make me uneasy.
There's obviously a purpose for reborn dolls. I'm not like knocking reborn dolls as an idea and as a thing, but like for me personally, I don't want something that's like so lifelike that isn't alive. You know, like I don't know. There's something very strange about that.
They always strip me up. I don't realize they're dolls, and then the second I do,
yes,
oh god,
yes, oh my gosh,
it's impressive though how artists.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, I agree. Like for me personally, they're just not.
Oh my gosh, reborn dolls, like especially when I'm like scrolling through TikTok or something, and like or on Instagram more likely because that's where I find most of the doll content. But anyway, I'm scrolling through, and then it's like this, somebody's picking up their baby and like whatever, and I'm like, okay, it's a like one of these videos, and then they stretch the face or something. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm just like, no, because it's all silicone. Yeah, I think it's silicone. Anyway, they're just, it's I don't know why it makes me physically like uncomfortable, like seeing them. I don't know why, because logically it doesn't make like I should be fine, like it's just silicone, it's but when it's too realistic, then I get a little bit, there's a phobia where people are like afraid of mannequins or whatever, like I feel that almost like I don't know. And yeah, and then like back when Toys R Us used to be a thing, walking down the aisle next to the doll aisle where it's like the baby dolls, and a lot of them are motion activated, so you walk by and they start talking to you. Yeah, I
know you for Christmas.
No.
You're gonna.
I'm like, what's in here? And it starts talking.
I'm gonna send you a box. It's gonna be a box of reborn dolls, just like shoved in there, just like 20 of them, just like crammed in there.
No, it's good. I'll reenact that scene from Twilight where Jane throws the little kid in the fire. Can't get in the way.
The original question though, no, I don't know anyone who has like an outright fear of like
yeah. I also think it's weird because it extends to these dolls somehow. I'm like, I don't understand how people would. I mean, I guess whatever. Like if it has a face and they feel like it's staring at them, but I'm like, these dolls are small. What would they do? Like if they did come alive, I could kick them. It's like compared to like I don't know, like Chucky or Annabelle. That's a little bit bigger. They're they have a little more weight behind whatever they're doing. I don't know. I've also never watched any of those movies. I don't. I don't do horror. I don't like scary movies. I don't mind like Jurassic Park and like creature features, like those are kind of fun, but I don't do like intentionally scary movies in that way.
There's a great horror movie that we actually just watched recently called Dolls. And it's about killer dolls basically, but it's from like the 80s. It's super campy. So yeah. Neither of you will watch it, but just want to mention it.
Thanks for the recommendation.
Maybe someone who's watching might want to watch or whatever. So let's end this with maybe if you had to give like one piece of advice to someone who's thinking about going into doll collecting, and yeah, so just from our collective experience, I would say start slow. don't do what I did. Yeah, don't be like me. Yeah, I would say just like, start slow. I would say start slow and cheap. Like you don't need to spend a ton of money on, the most expensive doll. Just like find something that you're into and go to thrift stores, go to vintage store, even eBay. If you can find something really cheap on eBay, and just I think the goal is to just like hold it in your hand and have that like personal like experience with the doll and see how you feel. And if it makes you feel all giddy inside, then okay, I can buy more. But yeah, that's really good, because like I think a lot of people watch like our videos for example, and they see this, see what's behind us, and they're like, I need that now, I need it yesterday or whatever. And it's like, no, this took me years. Like this is almost 8-9 years, almost a decade of collecting got me here. You know what I mean? This did not happen in a month. So I think that's a good one. That's really good advice.
Yeah, you said what I was going to say, because exactly, like online on videos or on Instagram and all these things where you're just inundated with huge collections, and I feel like people even think that's a standard to live up to. It's like, oh, you're not a real doll collector if you don't have this, and it's like, no, if you like dolls, even if you have one, you're still a doll collector. Like if that's what you see, then you're good. So it's like, just breathe, try not to pressure yourself.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like don't collect because of anybody else but yourself. Like, you see these other people and you want a collection to match theirs. Like, unless if every single thing that they have in their collection is something that's making you happy, like it doesn't make sense to do that. You should collect for yourself. But my advice for new doll collectors is don't get out while you can. No, I'm kidding. No, no, I think it really is just, along with what both of you have already said, it's just like, do what makes you happy. Oh, no, that's not what I was going to say that, but it was do what makes you happy, but like, don't let outside influences change your, like what you want to do, like, because other people, there is a stigma, especially if you're a, male, if you are an adult doll collector, like and not a little kid or something like that. There's a stigma around doll collecting. And if it's something that makes you happy, don't let that like discourage you or whatever. Because like I had to deal with that growing up. Luckily, it didn't come internally from my family as much, but it did come from outside sources for sure. And, luckily, I feel like we're kind of in a time that's very different from when I was that age growing up. But so it's not as bad, especially since there's a lot more visibility, luckily, on YouTube and everything. But yeah, don't let people discourage you. Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, and to go along with that, even like finding a community, like finding a couple of online friends, or even people in real life, that can get so much better if you have even one other person to talk to. It's like, it really helps with that stigma, and it makes it so much more fun. And it's like you can run your thoughts by them. It's a good way to get into collecting, is to find.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the video for today. Like I said, I had tons of fun recording this and like talking and just kind of engaging in a slightly less put together video than I usually do. To be like perfectly transparent, I was actually very anxious to start off with, but it turned out to be a really, really fun experience for me. So I hope you guys got to like feel that joy through the screen from all three of us. As I said before, definitely don't forget to check out their videos if you haven't seen them already. I think they were all really good topics and all super fun. So I don't want you guys to miss out on any of the fun content. But yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys.